They did not say his name aloud. It was enough to point, if anyone dared, up to the ridge where the fortress sat in its own weather. They called him the Monster King and shut their lamps when fog fell. Mothers warned children off the northern road, away from wells at night. No one could point to a wound he'd made. Fear lived on stories, an overturned carriage without tracks, 12 crows on a fence like smoke-black beads, a pale face once at a high window. They did not know that most nights the lantern in the keep was turned inward. He read by it, slow and still, histories, ribbons of old letters, ledgers of grain. Centuries had honed him until patience was his truest inheritance. He kept himself warmer than he felt so that if a sleeve brushed him by chance, it would not startle. The crows came when he lifted a hand, not by spell so much as friendship. His teeth were the same as the day he was made, two small crescents that showed when he smiled and more often when he was very tired. He was, before all, a guardian of a boundary, the soft seam where wild met hearth. He did not speak care aloud, he set it down where people would find it just before they needed it. In a dry summer the bakery's well rope was mended, and a second bucket arrived with knots kind to fingers. When a storm rose quick, the herd dog already knew which field to run, and a rattle at the tree line warned wolves off. A lost ribbon returned home, washed and folded, mint tucked beneath it. Once he left a fallen branch leaning in shadow and startled a shopkeeper so badly she dropped her blade. After that, he learned to leave careful notes. "Forgive me," one read, cramped and neat, tacked beneath a jar of honey. At night, the town sounded to him like rain on a roof when you are almost asleep. He could find, if he tried, the cough that needed help, the stallion's quiet pain, the brittle cry you hear only when you know grief makes weather of its own. He did not descend for every sound. He was no angel. And there were rules, myth for them, geometry for him. He could not cross a threshold without being asked. On a market day in late spring a new boy chased a gold moth to the hedge, slipped on wild onion, and cut his knee. People saw a pale figure in the trees and braced for fright. Instead, the king knelt, tore a strip from his cloak's lining, wet it with water, and wrapped the wound so it held and could still breathe. "Breathe," he said gently, because the boy had forgotten how. The crowd hung back. He had learned that if you don't offer your face to those expecting a monster, they may see only a man's competent hands. "What's your name?" the boy asked, steadying now. "I am the one who lives up there," he said, tilting his head toward the keep. "And you are new?" "Leo," the boy answered. His mother called without daring a name. The king stepped back so she wouldn't have to choose whether to invite him over the grass. Hunger spoke and he told it simply, "Not now." It obeyed. "Thank you," she whispered, looking at his hands, not his face. In the days that followed, Leo left offerings at the hedge the way children trade for rescue, a perfect dead beetle set like a jewel, a drawing pressed so hard the paper nearly tore, a tiny horse without a tail. The beetle, later, sat higher on a stone catching evening light. The drawing's edges were folded against the rain. The horse grew a tail, horsehair braided and tied through a newly drilled hole, the knot precise. Summer fattened the crows and the orchards. Between dusk and dark, a figure moved along the wall lighting clean, quick fires that sent sweet smoke to warn off deer without panic. A mare foaled by lantern glow, the midwife found a note on her step in a hand she didn't know, hold the lantern low, speak in murmurs, let her smell the foal first. He did not work for thanks, and he did not pray for absolution. he simply walked his rooms at night and gentled sharp-edged chairs with the backs of his fingers. Autumn broke its promise and sent a flood in the dark. The river rose into orchards, ran marbles of apples between rows, climbed for the lane and the square. In the cold current, he lifted stones and wedged roots, building a low wall that would last only hours but might persuade the water to turn its cheek. He sang without words because endurance likes rhythm. At dawn he finished by sound alone, face averted from light. Morning found apples and leaves strewn in streets, water only hip-deep in the fields that could afford it. At the river's edge, prints where no one sane would stand and a thread of dark cloth that smelled faintly of smoke. That afternoon Leo went to the hedge and called a plain hello. "Come no farther," said the voice from the oaks, gentle, not stern. "There are rules." "I know," Leo answered. "My mother says thresholds are like mouths. You only put what you trust inside." A soft laugh like nothing in the stories. "There are many thresholds," said the voice. "Even a hedge can be one." "Did you do the stones?" Leo asked. "They were there to be lifted," the voice replied. "A river goes where its bed allows." "Are you lonely?" the child blurted. A long, true pause. "At night just before morning." "And at morning when night is almost back." Leo held out a folded paper packet with both hands. "Sugar," he said. "For your tea." A pale, well-made hand took it, touching only the hedge leaves. "Thank you." He did not come to the harvest feast. Leo brought cider to the gate and set it on a flat stone with care. Fiddle lines went blue into the air from the square. The king, watching and not entering, let himself look at the world as a window for one untroubled minute. Winter came small and frugal. Sacks of barley appeared at the mill as if a shrewd merchant had miscounted in someone's favor. Needles and thread found a shepherd's pocket in a woolen pouch. Iron straps bound the schoolhouse beam, curling in pretty shapes a smith's grandsons wouldn't know to name. Some doors wore bay sprigs or paper stars, neither invitation nor banishment, only a shy way to say, "We see you." Then Leo fell ill, a simple cough that turned to a whistling fever in the soupy late winter air. His mother barred the shutters and would not send word, because to name fear is to taste it. The king listened anyway. He went to the hedge. "May I help?" he called. For a long time nothing. Then a latch lifted and a door opened as much as a woman could bear. "Yes," she said. "Yes. Please." He stood first in the yard, obeying the shape of invitation. "Pans of water in the corners," he said softly. "Steam the room. Boil fennel seed, let him sip. Lower the lamp. Don't weigh his ribs with quilts." She did those things. Then the door opened wider. "Come," she said, without ceremony. He stepped over the threshold as if into a river he had made peace with long ago. He sat by the bed and did not touch the boy's burning hair. He let the air do that. He sang without language, a sound like water over small stones, like finding a hidden pocket beneath a loose board. The child's breath eased, then faltered, then learned itself again. Before dawn the king set the chair back, left the room as a quiet idea leaves, and was gone. Leo lived. Spring returned him to running and fewer falls. When the market muttered about the price the monster king must one day ask, Leo lifted his chin and said, "Not everything is paid that way." People made old and new sounds in their throats, as if testing coins for weight. Much later, taller now, the boy stood near the hedge. "You knew," the king said, "no accusation in it." "I hoped," Leo answered. He did not apologize for the town. "I know now." The king watched the day turn on the keep's old stones. "You were the first to ask my name and mean it," he said. "What is it?" Leo asked, shy only of the bigness of the answer. "Valin," he said at last. "It suited me then. It fits me now." Leo tried it. It did not break. Sometimes, late, when fog lay on window sills and the moon's lantern wandered over the ridge, the children saw the king at his gate. He did not fade into shadow. He raised a hand, greeting, not summons. Leo lifted his own and stopped 2 respectful steps from the hedge, as he had been taught. No one begged the king to go away. No one begged him closer. The air between them held permission and limits and gratitude. In that quiet space, it seemed possible that a life could be made of noticing sugar at a gate, a song in a sick room, stones in a river, hands to a hurt knee. A name given into a mouth that would keep it well. In the town below, lamps went out. The keep breathed. People slept more easily for reasons they could not quite explain. And though the world beyond still said Monster King as if nothing had changed, here, where the mist knew their names and they knew one of its own, they had learned, because a child knew it first, that true kindness can live behind even the most careful face, and that when allowed, it will stay.